Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Center of Possibilities, Healing for People and Animals. And I'm Victoria Haffer, your host. And I'm so excited today to have on our show Nancy Zwerin. And she is amazing. I've known Nancy for quite a few years locally. And she is a Reiki master teacher for over 25 years, and she is the founder of Reiki for Pets International. Welcome, Nancy. We're so glad to have you today.
Thank you, Victoria. It's so good to see you. I haven't seen your face in really live for,
I know,
gosh, forever.
I know. So wonderful. As you know, I'm a Reiki master teacher as well and work with animals. So I'm so excited to just dive in today and talk with you a little bit about, your story and how Reiki is really blowing up. I think a lot more people are getting exposed to it. It's becoming more mainstream, and because it works, right? So first, Nancy, if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about what is Reiki.
So Reiki, we can use Western layman's terms for a moment and take some of the woo-woo out of it. So if you're, Western civilization background, then you're looking at channeling God and God's love, universal wisdom, and knowledge through your body, and specifically through your hands to the body of your client. And that client can be any sentient living being. It can be a pet. It can be a wild animal. It can be a person. It can be a plant. It can be a tree. It can be a crystal. It can be any of those things because we are all made of energy. So yes, Reiki is one of those things that almost um, escapes explanation, because of the inability for us humans sometimes to describe what does God's love look like? What does God's love feel like? What is that kind of healing unification, passion, drive, purpose? What does that all feel like? And I think if I had to use one word for what that feels like, it would be Reiki.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. I love that. And it's like us humans, we get so attached to the prove it and the if I can't see it, I can't believe it. And we get so caught up in that left aspect of the brain, the analytical, the cognitive, the overthinking, overprocessing, that we're missing so much of the magic, right? In everyday life.
We are, and if we bring it down for a minute, if we bring it down to where we are, where we sit in our world, in our country, Reiki's already being used in the Cleveland Clinic, in the Mayo Clinic, at UNC Rex Hospital, at Duke Integrative Medicine, which is a medical practice in Durham that teaches Reiki to its
Yes,
patients
I
and
know.
uses Reiki
Fabulous.
for its
So
patients.
wonderful.
Reiki is not new. This is something we need to get over. We need to quit thinking about something like Reiki as woo woo. It's not woo woo, it's as ancient as we are. It's made of what we are. We're made of the same thing.
Oh, so
It's been here forever. We need to get over it.
that's right. I love it, Nancy. I love that. That's so amazing. Tell us a little bit about how Reiki found you. A little bit about your spiritual journey. I know that you ran a successful pet sitting business for what, almost 20 years, right?
Yes.
And so obviously your love for animals has been long and deep. But tell us a little bit about how you transitioned into your journey with Reiki.
Well, my spiritual journey began in my 20s, and that was through the death of a really good friend. And it made me, because of the nature of who I am organically, it made me want to remove the mystery of death, and remove the fear and the anxiety about death. And so I began to read a lot of different books. And those books led me to reading things about Edgar Casey and his life and a lot of his books, and Shirley MacLaine, and then um, uh, a lot of the Gary Zukav and Wayne Dyer. Oprah certainly brought things to our level. So that's where my journey began. So that was 50, 40 some odd years ago. So I started doing Reiki in 1997 in group shares here in Raleigh. And I loved it so much that I really felt like I wanted to um, get more professionally aligned with it so that I could share it with other people in a professional setting, not just a personal setting. Um, I was in corporate America, like many of us, for 26 years, in the medical field in the medical field for 26 years. And then magically, which involved hiring a feng shui master, writing a letter to God, 2 days later, finding myself unemployed. I had gotten in touch with what I really, really wanted to do, and it made me even more frustrated and impatient with corporate America. So I asked for a sign from God. I literally wrote a letter to God and said, hey, I feel like I'm going to leave my job soon. I'd like clarity and guidance on what you have me do. And I would love to work with animals. 2 days later, became jobless. And that was not expected. And then a short time after, I began working with animals. And then a short time after that, I created my pet sitting business in Raleigh. And I named it after the archangels because of Archangel Michael and the healing that I wanted to infuse into my business, not only into what I personally brought to the business, but whatever the business brought to our clients, which was the most important thing, which was healing, comfort, peace, joy, happiness to my clients. That's a win-win. You just can't, that's a win-win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I love the Archangel Michael. When I received my attunement from my Reiki master teacher, I was told that Archangel Michael literally stepped into the facilitator and facilitated my attunement for me. So I have had a strong connection with him as well for many years. So who is Reiki for? Can you talk a little bit about some of the benefits of Reiki, and who is your ideal person or animal, right, that would come to you for a session or a clearing?
The clients that I get the best connections with and help the most, I feel like, are clients who have a deep, loving bond with their pets. And Reiki is for those clients who have pets that are either going through health challenges, anxiety issues, and most especially the end of life journey. So the end of life journey is something that we're all fearful of. And when that's taking place in the pets that we love deeply, that we are most bonded to, who have been the confidants, who have been our witnesses,
Mm-hmm.
our unconditional source of love, um, when they are going through an end of life journey, it shakes us to the very core of our being. And we want nothing more in this world than to be able to control that situation and to be able to bring comfort and peace and no pain
Mm-hmm.
um, to our pets. And that can seem insurmountable. And what Reiki does is it brings in a level of peace and comfort to the pet and to the family, so that the family in their journey with this companion is able to help their pet when it means the absolute most, not only to their pet, but to themselves. Um, and I find many of my strong connections, I mean, it can help with restoring appetites for pets who've lost their appetite during end of life journey or during other health issues. It
Mm-hmm.
can restore more normal, comforting behavior and relationship and connection between the family and their pets during these kinds of times. Because the pets, might be going through something that, of course, they're not able to express to their family. And so Reiki helps immensely in those kinds of situations. So when we need and want clarity the most in our lives is to when to know when to help our pets, or if to help our pets
Mm-hmm.
cross over and transition out of their body. And Reiki helps with that too, because it brings in clarity. It clears up and clears out the fear and it brings in the comfort and the peace, and it helps us to see the bigger picture of things.
Mm, that's so, I don't think I've ever heard it quite so eloquently. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
And it's so true. And when is your book coming out, Nancy?
One of these days.
I see it. I see it. I see it. Would you share with our listeners a favorite healing story for one of your pets? Tell us a little bit about just one. We know that you have probably thousands to share, but one that really sticks out for you.
I will. And so I have a client who has a couple of cats, kitty cats, and one of her cats injured his leg while he was playing. They were playing with each other. She was playing with her kitty cat, and she was devastated because she's so connected to this cat. He just means the world to her. So she decided that she wanted to utilize Reiki to help him. He was going to have surgery. Her vets had told her, well, she had one vet who also referred her to NC State Health Vet School. And they told her that they might have to amputate his leg.
Oh
And
my
she was
goodness.
traumatized by that. She didn't want him to lose his leg, and she was feeling incredibly guilty. So we decided to set up a regular schedule of Reiki sessions for her kitty cat. And so we started before the surgery, and we did Reiki. I did Reiki sessions for her cat before the surgery, during the surgery, after the surgery, for 6 weeks after the surgery, and then for even longer, because we would come back for times when he would have to go back for checkups and that sort of thing. So the surgery went fantastically. The doctors got in there, and what happens is the animals also communicate with me during the Reiki sessions. And I don't ever know when it's coming, but I have some profound stories to share about the reality of what they show me and what they tell me.
Mm-hmm.
So the surgery went great. They were able to repair his leg. They didn't have to. In fact, I had been told that prior to the surgery. And that cat is doing so well. He recently had to see the vet for a checkup, and the vet was absolutely amazed at how well his leg is doing.
Oh, that's so
And
great.
the client has definitely been kind and generous with her praise and her acknowledgement, I guess, of how the Reiki really helps support both of them.
Mm,
Um, Her cat would have extreme panic about going to the vet in the crate, and the day that she had to take him in to the vet, I was doing a Reiki session, and her cat was just as calm as he could be. Um, Now, a funny little story about this kitty cat. On the very first session that I did with Sammy, um, I got, and I don't know how to say this, I got that Sammy is a temple cat, a healer kitty,
mhm.
and that Sammy had a direct connection to Buddha. And believe me, when I get this stuff, I just think, oh my goodness, they're just going to think I'm crazy. But I share this information with my clients because part of Reiki is moving ego over here. I'm not about trying to define anything. Um, I share with my clients whatever comes in. So I heard back from my client the next day that her kitty is indeed a healer kitty, and has brought a lot of healing into her own life and into her own heart, and is part of her healing journey. But even more than that, her and I've never met my client in person because I do my Reiki sessions remotely. Her
Mm,
grandfather was born in Shanghai. He's not Buddhist, but her in fact her father's nickname in college was Buddha, and her mother used to call her Buddha baby. So there you go. Sammy's directly connected
there's
to
no coincidences, are there, Nancy?
there's not. I mean, it's
It's so
just,
great.
I get chill bumps all over that. And it's a humbling experience that frequently brings me to tears, that the animals will share that kind of information that I can share with their families. Yeah, so it's really special.
So great, so wonderful. Um, so as we start to wrap up, is there anything else that is coming through you that you feel like you want to speak to our listeners, our viewers, on Reiki? And again, how I love that your niche is the human animal connection, right? That's so. Um, and again, I believe what kind of brought us, circled us back around again, because that's what I do as well, right? So it's like this whole thing where it's like often I believe that we have contracts, soul contracts with our animals, right? And then they often support us in healing, yes, through them, but also through them they bring us to them, right? So a lot of people wouldn't seek out Reiki, quote unquote, for themselves, but oh, my cat or my dog or my horse, I love more than life in itself. So I've literally have had clients that I've gotten through their animal, right? Have you
Yes,
experienced that as well?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would just add a little story, and the last thing that I want to offer to people, because it's again, it's one of those things hard to explain and sometimes hard to wrap your mind around, which is why it's really helpful to stay in our heart as much as, if not more so than our mind. So here it is. So this same client asked me one day if I could do a Reiki session for her kitty cat who had passed away. And I said, sure. So, so I did. She sent me photographs. I work with photographs. And so I'm doing the Reiki session for her kitty cat, Tiger. And I bonded with Madeline over pizza. That's one of the things I got. I got some other things, but I'll just share that. And so after the Reiki session, I texted Madeline, and I always give a description of when I started, when I finished, how the energy flow was, and if I got any information, I share that. And I shared that I bonded with Madeline over pizza, and Madeline texted me back and said, "What does the pizza mean?" And I said, "I don't know," because I don't know, you know. That well, Madeline's about 30 years old now, and she had Tiger when she was in her teens, and he just passed away in 2019. So she went back through her photos on her phone, her old photos, and she found and sent me a picture of Tiger taking a bite out of a slice of her pizza that she's holding. So,
Oh.
what I want everyone to hear is that they don't die. They just leave their bodies. We don't die. We just leave our bodies. We go somewhere else. They're still there. They're still with us. They're still communicating with us if we're open to that. And they can still help us and support us with healing, not only ourselves, but our planet. It's bigger than just you and me, it's bigger than just us, it's everything. So, yeah, that would
Whew.
be what I
So
would.
good. I could talk to you. I could talk to you forever and ever. Um, so how can people get in touch with you, Nancy? I know people are going to be so excited when they see or hear this video. And what's the best way to reach out to you? Do you offer an exploration call or anything like that so
Yes,
they can get to know you better?
love to do free consultations over the phone. They can see me they can visit my Facebook page, Reiki for Pets International, REIKI, for those who don't know. And my website is reikiforpetsinternational.com. They can reach me through that. And yeah, I would love to connect with people. I would love to be of service to families who have pets that are having health issues or anxiety issues, or end of life journey, because we make that journey together, and that's a choice. And it's a choice that we step into freely and gladly. And I'm humbled to be able to help with it.
Thank you so much, Nancy. We're so grateful to have you here today. And we are going to sign off. Again, I'm Victoria Haffer, Center of Possibilities, Healing for People and Animals. And
Thank you,
check
Victoria.
out Nancy. We'll put everything in the description. Please subscribe to the channel, like, and give us some good comments, and reach out to Nancy. I know that she can definitely support you with your deepening your connection with you and your animal. Namaste.